Greetings, greetings, greetings. Big up yourselves. What's going on, you all? So, of course, as Jamaicans, you know, there are a few things that we take very serious, and cooking is one of them, especially during the Easter holidays. Happy Easter to you and your loved ones. So, of course, we are prepping our saltfish for our national dish, ackee and saltfish. For me, I typically like to boil out my saltfish 3 times, which essentially means you put it in a pot, boil it until you see it's bubbling, pour off that water, put new water in it, and I do that a cycle of 3 times to boil out the majority of the saltfish, but of course keeping a little bit of salt in it so that, you know, you don't have to add it back for the taste of it. On to the next part of the process, which is cutting up your veg to go into the ackee and saltfish. I use a combination of bell peppers, red, yellow, green, and orange. 2 different types of onion, red onion and white onion, as well as some tomato. And then of course, fresh seasoning like pimento and thyme and some scallion. So then heating up your oil in your skillet, of course. So me, I'm not going to tell you which oil you should or should not use. We tend to use like grapeseed oil, sometimes a little bit of vegetable oil, and of course, olive oil. But whatever oil you have, use that. Whatever oil you feel good with, use that. So suffice to say, heat up the oil in your skillet, put the chopped up veg in there, give it a good stir, add a little bit of seasoning to it, and then just let it cook down. And because we're Jamaican, you know, of course, 2 different type of meat have to go on, although these are not technically, well, they are meat. But anyhow, don't watch that. So in another skillet, I'm also going to be making bully beef, which is corned beef, and to add a little bit of razzle dazzle to it, some smoked turkey sausage. Now, under normal circumstances, when I make like ackee and saltfish, I might put a little bit of corned pork in it, but because Keys doesn't really eat pork, I try to cook things sort of in a separate way, and I thought to add the corned pork to the corned beef, but then, you know, we opted for turkey so that it would just make it generally easy for both of us to enjoy and consume the meal. And of course, even though I'm using tin ackee, you always make sure you rinse it off with hot water. Nothing more than putting the ackee, the tins of open ackee into a strainer, boiling a kettle of water or pot of water, and just scalding off the ackee before you incorporate it into the mixed veg and the saltfish. Whoa, the pata bubble, yes, the pata bubble, yes, the pata bubble, yes. So, as you can see, I place the ackee in the center of the pot first to let it kind of steam up a little bit, and then after a couple of seconds, just slowly mixed it in amongst the saltfish and the veg. And if you've ever had the misfortune of losing the key to the bully beef tin, in this instance, I am a capeless hero. I do not wear a cape when it comes to making festival. I use the package mix because I don't know how to make festival from scratch. I guess I could technically learn, but when they have the package and it just makes it easy where you just have to add water, some battles don't have to be an uphill battle, and some you for pick and choose. The festival dough is mixed and covered and set to the side for about 15 minutes to let it rise. In the meantime, I'm going to put together my dough for our boiled dumpling. Simple combination of flour, baking soda, a little bit of salt, water, and mix. And these dumplings look like they came from a good family. Not too thick and not too thin. Next up, we have fried pressed green plantain. Simple, simple, simple to make. Heat up your oil in the skillet, peel your green plantain, cut it into chunks, and put it in the oil until it's brown on all sides. Remove from the oil, put it onto a clean, dry surface, and then use a bowl or a cup to press down on the plantain and then put it back in the oil to fry. Because I'd already used the measuring cup when I was measuring out the water for the festival, I just used the bottom of that and then used a knife to just separate it from the bottom because it does get sticky. As you can see, they come out crispy and golden and ready to go. And now back to the festival. So of course the dough has risen. I've removed it from the bowl and put it onto a floured surface, rolled it around so that it wasn't sticky, pulled it out and then cut it into 2 long strips and then sectioned it into 6 smaller individual pieces, roll them out and drop them into the already hot oil. This of course makes me really nervous because the festival mix cooks really quickly, and if you even blink too quickly and look away for a second, your festival is going to burn. So pay attention to your oil. Even when you've turned it down for whatever reason, festivals have a tendency to cook really quickly. So just make sure you're paying attention to your oil and turning them frequently so that they brown on all sides evenly. Okay, so them not come out tree bad still. And of course, what Jamaican meal would be complete without plantain? And that wraps up the making of our Sunday Easter breakfast. Of course, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. And again, to you and yours, happy Easter and a happy Sunday.